From KUNC and the NPR network, this is In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Greeley artist Armando Silva paints some of the most prominent artwork along Colorado's Front Range. His art depicts sugar beet workers who helped establish Fort Collins, or a steer to honor the Greeley Stampede, or a majestic bison against a mountain backdrop. And next week, he's working to create a space for more artists to create more murals. He is part of a team launching Weld Walls, a new mural festival in Greeley that begins on Tuesday. And that got us curious about his hopes for growing the public art scene in Colorado and how he got started painting murals in the first place. Armando told me he remembers loving art early on. He recalls that in elementary school, a teacher would assign the kids to work on a project in a group. Armando realized quickly he could be more helpful by handling the visuals.
I mean, that was first grade and kindergarten when my parents had just moved here from Mexico, and I was, learning the culture, learning the language, and like all of us, even learning how to read, right? And I'm also speaking Spanish at home. So being able to express myself and share ideas that didn't rely so heavily on language was a big one-up for me. Mm-hmm. I would always kind of sign myself up to draw the map or make the model of it. Yeah. And I loved coming home and trying to figure out how I can DIY make this representation of whatever we were learning in class through art.
Well, from those early classroom experiences, you moved pretty quickly from those kind of class projects to painting in public spaces. What kind of work did you create before you got into murals?
Art was kind of like a hustle for me, right? Whether that was me trying to make friends or impress somebody like in my classroom.
Yeah.
So some of it was draw me a rose or my girlfriend's name in bubble letters, and I would make a little bit of money off of that. Mm-hmm. Or maybe, a teacher found out that I was good at painting or drawing, so I would go do like a nursery room for their new family. Or, I'd love to draw cartoon characters. Like just as a young, boy in the 90s, I was drawing Batman and Ninja Turtles and the things that I saw on TV. And some of that was, again, it was like a means to an end. So maybe I wasn't buying all the action figures or we couldn't afford them, but I could draw them. Yeah. And I could have them be a part of my life that way. And I could be part of cultures or communities or small spaces within my friends by truly making it myself.
Your first big mural commission was this colorful bear that you created at the University of Northern Colorado. The school's mascot, of course, is a bear. It's pretty ferocious looking, actually, from what I remember of seeing it. What do you remember about that first commission?
Yeah, that was a beautiful opportunity. I was recommended by some of my advisors and educators at the university for this project. I mean, I think I did a pretty good job with that bear, but I think I almost kind of overpainted it. But it's just a bear, right?
It sounds like that's okay. I mean, because like you said, it was your first one, so you're always going to have that recollection of like, I put a lot into it. Yeah. Because I think you felt like you needed to impress with
for sure.
That.
Yeah, it was kind of that energy of like art hustle. It's like a big opportunity, a huge platform. It's a university. Thousands of students go there. It's in a very popular space. That's not an art gallery. It's inside of the rec center. So it was like a lot of things riding on the line from like, prove it to somebody, like show up and like really, I would say like kill it, like do an amazing job here. Like all of those things were kind of flying through my head as I was painting the piece. And you're like, how do you really knock this out of the park? Because you might not get another swing to make another piece like this.
Well, Armando, you have a pretty impressive list of clients and collaborators at this point, including the Denver Zoo, Target Creative, the Denver Broncos. Now you are getting ready to launch Greeley's first ever mural festival in just a few days, Weld Walls. What do you hope this festival will do for Greeley's creative scene?
Yes, well, we hope it does a plethora of things, like that we can lift up some of the creatives within town, whether that's through a community wall that we're working on, similar to a music festival. We kind of have like openers in a way that are like local, right? Mm-hmm. So we hope we can put them on and show them how to go about doing mural making or just like the art business side of things, but also have that general cultural exchange from other artists coming into town to maybe new residents within town, like getting to experience something that's part of Greeley, give them something new to enjoy, to consume, to look forward to. And that's why we also called it Weld Walls, because we wanted to take it beyond kind of that Greeley scope and invite our neighbors to be part of this like mural potluck.
Armando, I know you get a lot of curious people going by when you're painting a new mural. Have you ever had a memorable interaction with someone that you could share?
I just had a wonderful, like a really heartfelt experience here doing a piece just a month ago. The lift was being delivered, and usually when it's being delivered, I might not be starting to work right away, but I want to kind of make sure that I'm familiar with the lift and I know how to operate it.
Okay, and that's the thing that might take you up high so you can do the upper part of the wall.
Yeah, that's correct. But as I was testing it, I had this man, like, and when I mean this man, like, I want you to picture this like 6'5", broad shoulders, a bit of a tummy. It's the middle of summer, like your Carhartt construction shorts with your big boots and a bandana tied around your head. And he comes around the corner and yells at me. He's like, "Young man, get down here." Like, just like, "Get down here." And I'm like, oh no, like, maybe I'm in his parking spot, or, something's about to happen. And so I get down there, he gets out of his truck, and I'm just like expecting the worst. But the sweetest thing happened to me. He went from "get down here" to, "Listen, you don't know me and I don't know you, but I love you.
Aww.
And I don't ever want to see you back on that lift without your safety harness again."
Well, now I'm curious if visitors to Weld Walls will be able to visit and chat with and interrupt the artist.
Yes. Yes. Specifically with the Mural Festival, I mean, that's the artists understand that we're calling people to come and see them make the thing. Like that it is kind of like you're on display, you're in action, you're like live sports kind of thing.
I love it. Well, Armando, is there anything that surprises you about the way people respond to one of your murals or pieces?
I'll have a little bit of fun here. I think even just the word mural is a fun one that we'll get into, because people like, and it takes a ton of courage to stop somebody in their tracks of like painting something like 20 feet up in the sky. And the people will be like, so is this a mural or like a mural? Like what are these things called again?
Right.
I love that because it's such a vulnerable moment, and I love to give that energy. I would be like, yeah, it's definitely a mural. Like, let's go with that. And then we build a little bit of a back and forth and settle into a comfortable space to have a good conversation about what's going on.
Armando Silva is a Greeley mural artist and a co-creator of Weld Walls, an outdoor art festival that starts Tuesday and continues through next weekend in Greeley. We'll have more details and a link to Armando's portfolio in our show notes and at KUNC.org. And while you're there, check out some recent episodes of In The NoCo. We podcast every interview we publish, so you never have to miss a minute of the show. That's it for us today on In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great weekend.